Hey, this is Tate Fletcher, and welcome to another edition of Pirate Life. And brought to you, I just want to give a real shout out to the guys at Float Clinic down in Torrance, California. You can find them at Float Clinic, and they're just amazing dudes that their dad builds their own tanks, and we had a great experience there last week, and hope to get back there as much as I can. But if you haven't done that, and you haven't done like immersion tanks or isolation chambers, or they go by a bunch of different names, you should check it out just for all kinds of things. I never knew they were in for spinal decompression, for actual like neurological health, for pathways, and not to mention all the cerebral stuff it does to you, which is amazing. Like, you really go on an acid trip with no acid involved. It's a fantastic experience. So check those guys out at Float Clinic. And I'm not sure what their website is, so fuck yourself. Also want to thank always benefactor of my life, Concrete Cowboy, out in Dallas. We're starting a new one out in Austin also, and then in Houston coming out. Lookout, Texas. We're fucking taking over that goddamn place, which is also crazy. Maybe the most polite people in the world, besides maybe Louisiana, I think, are in Dallas. Just fucking fine people, you Texans. Keep it up. And tell those retards to shut up, because we know they're chock full of those too. Caveman Coffee at cavemancoffee.com. Check us out there. And we are just plush with all of our supplies. We ran low for a minute. Coming up soon is Caveman Coffee Chocolate. We'll have that also with, we got all kinds of good stuff coming up, but made with butter and salt and goji berries, and it is just tremendous. We got 90% coming, pure cacao goodness, with the whole bar is only like 3 grams of sugar, 80% a little more, but the deliciousness factor goes through the fucking roof. So check out cavemancoffee.com for all your goodness. Also, Whole Life Challenge is coming up, and we'll talk more about that with my fantastic guest, but if y'all don't know about it, you find out about it. Hit me up on my Facebook, on my Twitter. I'll be posting links about it. Get on my team, and let's rock this thing. And it's a way to flip your whole life and your whole kind of consciousness. It's like you get accountability in your life, which is where I always fall short. Like, if I don't have something that is like, if I don't tell somebody I'm going to be there or follow through or something, I'm usually going to sit at home and jerk off maybe, or watch TV, something, whatever else. So I've set this accountability in place, man, and that's what the Whole Life Challenge does for me. It does it with my mobility and my flexibility, with my training, and with my diet. And then I check in every day. It also does stuff as far as, like, am I getting enough water? Am I sleeping enough? Am I doing 10 minutes of daily meditation? It kind of lets me up my game and my discipline in a whole lot of different fields. So check out UndisputedFitness.com, CrossFitSantaFe.com. Great places to find out more about that stuff. Also, DeuceGym.com. I'll be training there in a little bit, and want to thank those guys for always helping me out so good. 10thPlanetJujitsu.com, and of course my alma mater, Jackson's MMA. Right now I'm sitting at Sauce with the very lovely Miss Jill Rudison, who is, I don't know, man, she's just amazing on so many different levels. But the first thing I saw about you was on my friend Scotty's page, and he was in a beautiful pair of leggings, and then I found you, and Quads Not Included is your company, right?
That's my company.
Yeah. So how'd that all get started?
Quads Not Included was actually an accidental venture. I really didn't intend at all to start a legging company. I'd been a big fan of black milk leggings for a long time. They were the original purveyors of those, like, exposed muscle anatomy pants. And I had always liked them. And then one day I just was like, I'm going to go on the website, I'm going to order them. And I sat down and I went to the website and I ordered it. And it, put everything in my cart, and it rang it up, and it was like, and the leggings themselves were like $125, and then the shipping was like $40. And then I was like, dude, I'm paying $200 for a pair of leggings. I'm going to sweat all over. And I just thought that was stupid. And I asked around, and a good friend of mine who's a fellow competitor, she was selling them. And I was like, okay, what's the scoop? Where'd you get those? And she was actually kind enough to give me her manufacturer's information.
Because that's the hard part, is getting the right fabric, right? To have it in something you like, and that you're like, this is a good...
And just to find that like a good product, especially with that particular pattern, at an affordable price. So she for whatever reason, gave up the goods and told me where she got them from, and I started ordering them, and I just ordered like 8 pairs, and I ordered them as Christmas presents for friends.
Cool.
And I gave them to friends, and 2 friends of mine wore them on their Christmas card, and it caused a big stir because they put it on Instagram, and I have a lot of followers and friends, and people started asking where they got them from, and then emails started coming, and then once I hit 100 emails, I decided it was time to start a website.
Right.
And
once you get enough emails where you're like, I can't fucking answer all these. We need.
Yeah, it's like I have to put an automated system in place to deal with this because I physically don't feel like it.
Yep.
So that was, and that was the birth of Quads Not Included. It was a total accidental venture, and then, and then I thought, I'm in the fitness industry, and that industry is very overly saturated with everything.
Yeah. Whatever goods and trinkets you can put out there.
Exactly. So, I mean, and, I have a lot of friends that fight and grapple and wrestle, and, and a lot of the stuff that they wear is like, at least with me and for fitness, like I'm pretty loud and obnoxious with my clothing.
Yep.
I like to think that the louder and obnoxious, obnoxious my clothing, the more fun of a day I'm going to have.
Sure.
So, so I thought, maybe instead of just marketing these to the fitness community, I wonder if my friends at Grapple would wear them.
Right. And
sure enough, they did. And I'm working with some really great fighters now, and they've been wearing my stuff. And
who are your guys?
Well, the first person I started working with was Kira Batara and Mogwai.
Little Mogwai.
Yeah, and she's awesome. She's been wearing my stuff and repping me real hard. Felice Herrig.
Yep.
She's been wearing a lot of my stuff, and I'm excited to see my stuff on her when she goes to the Ultimate Fighter House. That'll be really cool. And I'm also working with Cody No Love Garbrandt, who is training up in Sacramento with Team Alpha Male.
Okay.
Also work with Tony Kelly. I've been really lucky. Chris Holdsworth has worn my stuff. I've just been really lucky to get my stuff.
He's been hitting me up a bunch lately.
Yeah,
nice guy.
I got a pair of pants on Andre, Touchy Feely. Scott's been rocking my stuff. I'm really grateful at all the help that I've gotten from friends and from.
How about the bodybuilding community?
I've gotten my pants on a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of large guys in my pants. So
Rad.
that sounds weird, right? I've got a lot
Not
of large guys in my
I
pants.
Expect nothing less from you.
Yes, lots of men in my pants.
Got a lot of large men that've been in my pants.
Juan Diesel Morel, he's a super heavy. He's going to be competing at the Arnold Brazil next week. He's been wearing my stuff, and Mark Anthony, who's the reigning Mr. Olympia, men's physique Olympia.
And he's also a singer, isn't he?
Well, not that Mark.
He's also married to J-Lo.
No,
and then he went into a bodybuilding career. Isn't that true?
That guy, yes. I haven't had him in leggings yet.
He hasn't gotten in your pants yet.
No. And I'm just a lot of girls, a lot of my girlfriends have been supportive.
How long have you been into bodybuilding?
Officially or unofficially?
Like unofficially, the one where you're like, that's some shit that I want to do, and then you started walking towards that goal.
I've always played around with weights. My dad had a weight bench in the garage growing up.
Did you grow up in Venice?
No, I grew up in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
I'm a Miami native, and I moved over here back in 2005.
Okay.
But yeah, I always played around with the weights at home, and then I was always told as a child that if I ate my spinach, I would have muscles like Popeye. So I would eat copious amounts of spinach, and then I'd get really disappointed and butthurt when I didn't have muscles popping out of places. And and then when I was about, I guess I was like 15, I took a part-time job at Living Well Lady Fitness for whatever reason.
Yep.
And and it gave me a free gym membership, which was cool. And then I took in high school. I took weightlifting as an elective course because I figured I'd be the only girl.
Now, when was it through all this? Because there's a lot of searching that goes on when you go to change. Like, okay, you make a decision. I want to change my body. I'm ready to get all invested in that. And then before there's any fucking results, and there's so much, like you said, there's so much. Anything that you want to buy in the fitness industry is out there.
Yeah.
So like, what was it for you where you're like, I'm doing this and I'm getting zero results? Because that happens, I think, maybe for everybody. Like, everybody's out there and they're like, I got a magazine and I followed the rep scheme in men's fitness, so what the fuck? Or whatever, or spinach, or whatever your thing is. And then there's something that clicks and you go, okay, this is I found something that works for me here.
Yeah.
What was that moment for you?
The aha moment?
I guess the moment, that aha moment for me is, it feels like, it's like that's the moment when I go, oh, I'm not powerless over my body. It's not just going to be what it is. I can form this to what I want it to be.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I always worked out just because I like to eat and I like to drink, and I like to party.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to be fat. So I just basically had to work out a lot.
Right.
Just so I could maintain the partying that I was doing without getting, like, excessively
What
overweight.
age is that?
Oh, man, I was such a partier as a kid. I was so bad. I probably, like, but I didn't decide to really, like, start focusing on it until I was probably about 25, 26.
Yep.
And then, I think I got sick of, like, going out and binge drinking. And I parked my car in the neighbor's driveway once. My dad woke me up pissed. And then, so I had a few episodes like that. And I was like, I don't think I should go out and party.
Something's got to change.
Yeah, I think I need to change my lifestyle a little bit. And that was kind of the aha moment.
Is the bodybuilding a huge party movement? Like that whole thing? Is that like, is there a huge component to that? Like, if you're a cook in a restaurant, I'm like, you drink a lot and do coke, probably.
Right.
Like, is like, I mean, it's like, or if you're a priest, probably fuck kids. Like, there's things, there's occupation. You know what I mean? And so is that part of the component in that bodybuilding?
I mean, for sure.
deal?
Are there? Yeah. I mean, you work hard, you play hard, you train hard, you play hard.
Sure.
Like, so there is a component in that where but there are people out there that are like, I don't even know how they do it. They party hard and then they can, like, go and get on stage and, like, perform, and you're like, what?
Right.
Like, my old coach, Chris Cormier, he's probably like, he was notorious for back in the day, for, like, being in New York, like, at Limelight, like, partying his face off, and then the next day he'd show up to the show ready to go, polished.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, and I don't know how he did it. He was a champ, but I can't do that. Like, right now, if I look at a glass of alcohol, like, I'm feeling drunk and I feel funny.
Right.
And it's just, I'm a lightweight now, so
Right.
I wish I could still, like, party like I lift, but that's so not the case.
Right. There's a point in your life when your age shifts and you're like, okay, I
yeah,
need
and it's
to
like 10 o'clock
focus
news
on
comes
this
on
or
and I'm
focus
dozing off
that.
on the couch with the dog. Yeah, I don't know what happened. When did that happen?
Good enough.
But
Well, I think when it starts to happen, you're like, oh, things really got, like, I don't know. I always thought about, like, fighting that way, that, like, you get into a position where you're like, you can't get in shape anymore, because you can't get in shape for something fast enough if you let yourself slack, right? And Randy Couture said that one time. He says, it's not me getting into shape. It's like, I have to stay in shape.
Yeah.
He's like, when I was a kid, I could compete, like, at an Olympic level, at a world champion level, and I could mess around, and then I could have a couple months and be right back on top of my game. He's like, it's just not like that. And I think after a while in life, you go, oh, okay, I've had enough beers, and, like, this is how I dial myself in now.
Well, I'm constantly asked all the time, like, oh, when are you gonna be able to go out and eat and drink again, or when are you gonna be able to go do this? Or, like, people are constantly always waiting for me to suddenly have availability to go do these things, and it's kind of like, you know what, guys, this is kind of my lifestyle now.
Right.
It's a little different. I do go, I'll go out and have, like, cheat meals and whatnot. Like, the other day, I ate a whole package of birthday cake Oreos. Thank you very much.
Good on you.
But, for the most part, it's a lifestyle. It's not really going to change. It's just, this is how I live my life, and this is what I have to do to maintain myself and my body, and, so most civilians don't understand that.
No. Do you feel it's sustainable?
I think it is. I think everything is within reach as long as you enjoy it within moderation. And, so I generally eat clean throughout the week, and then I'll have, like, a really indulgent cheat meal on a Saturday or something.
Are you like gluten-free and all that?
I am. Actually, and I'll give him props where props are due. Scott was a big educator about the evils of gluten
Is
to
that
me.
right?
Yes. So thank you, Scott. And I really think, like, and after that, it was like last year, I kind of, like, really, like, laid off the gluten. And now, I mean, maybe I'll indulge in it, like, if I have a cheat meal or something, like if I have a burger with a bun.
Do you know that it's interesting? I didn't know this. But if you eat, say you eat gluten-free 8 days out of the week, and on the 9th day you have a piece of pizza or whatever, something with gluten in it, do you know that never leaves your body? You're always poisoned by gluten. It takes at least 15 days for gluten to clear your body.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
No, I did not know that.
So you're always
Man, I'm toxic from this
in
weekend.
a low-grade illness all the time, and you never know what being well feels like until you're 30 or 60 days off of gluten completely. Isn't that fucking wild?
It does.
And I don't know. It's like a friend of mine. She was trying to telling me all the wonders of juicing. And, oh, it's great, and this and that and whatever. And I go, all right, you know, it seems messy to me. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I'm lazy as shit. And she goes, you know how it was when you, like, didn't eat paleo or you, like, and I go, yeah. And she says, and you didn't know how good you could feel. You thought you felt good because your only baseline for good was how you felt. But if you only eat poison for your whole life, you know what good feels like based upon you're on poison all the time. Take the poison out, you feel that much better. And you're like, holy shit, I never knew how good I could feel. Like, that's what, like, for me, like, going into health, and that's why things like that whole life challenge and all that have become important to me because it's a way I can share my lifestyle with other people in an easy way. But she said, imagine that you don't know how good you could feel if you juiced also. And I was like, that is a totally a conversation now that I can understand
Fair
in a
argument.
way that I didn't understand before I went gluten free, all that shit.
Right.
But it's interesting. And I used to think my life would become limited with that, but it's like right now, like ordering shrimp wrapped in bacon that I'm going to dip in a fatty aioli. Yeehaw! Like there's nothing illegal about that. Like hollandaise sauce all day, like with a straw. But so my life is more satisfying in a way, and I've got a freedom of my food. That's why when I talk about sustainability, especially people with strict diets, like especially fighters, is where my talk comes from a lot because dieting sucks. I mean, and it's horrible when you have to do that. But like when I stopped and me and Jardine really started talking about like, well, what's a sustainable way that we can continue this conversation into health that you can get the body that you desire, have strength, function, and performance, yet not be suffering. Because, let's face it, we've all suffered enough, right?
Right.
So, that became kind of the thing. And I always wonder if it leaks into the because bodybuilding is such a different thing. You know, when I saw, like I don't know, the Ultimate Warrior, God rest his soul.
Yeah.
Right? He used to work out at a gym that I would go to sometimes in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And I would see this old dude, like an old kind of stern-faced dude walking around, didn't talk to hardly anybody, and he's just about his business. And the only way I knew he was the Ultimate Warrior because he would wear his own sweatshirts and shit around, which is awesome. And then my friend Isaac, who fights Takamori Gomi next weekend, I think, would be like, that's the Ultimate Warrior right there, Tate. And he'd get really excited. But I'd see him doing, like, get 2x4s, stack them across a Smith machine, get 1,200 pounds on the bar, and then he's just doing calf raises, and which is hilarious to me. Like, I think of that as gay, like not in a sexual way, but like GHUY,
right.
Kind of like that's some silly shit. Like it's like you're putting on I don't know, hair extensions or something as a woman. Like you don't need to maybe do that.
Right.
I don't know. And what's that for? Like that, so you got these things that the minutia serving zero function or anything like that. I'm going to do these kinds, like forearm curls or something. Like it's like, all right, great. I don't know how that translates into anywhere in life, but and so for me, like that being my thing is like it's there's a different conversation with that, and I'm wondering if the food conversation, if there's only suffering for bodybuilding because you have to be so lean and you have to, like, is there a maintaining that, is there a way you can live inside that?
I think, I found it only through multiple trials and error will you find that happy medium of being able to maintain that.
Yeah.
With bodybuilders, though, I think it's far more psychological and far more psychologically damaging because you get so used to eating a certain way. Particularly, you hear this a lot amongst the women, is when they're told to not eat carbs to lose weight. So then they remove carbs from their diet, and then the fear when it comes to actually eating these things that you've removed from your diet, it's like mentally you can't do it. So I think in bodybuilding, eating and food and health, and it's far more psychologically messed up.
There's a lot, right?
Yeah, and but I think you can definitely always find a happy medium with what you eat. I mean, like me, I cycle my protein fat days with my protein vegetable days, and then I integrate having my carbs. Like I generally I get my carb sources from complex carbs. I don't eat any starchy carbs.
Right.
And then depending on my cheat meal, like if I go have like sushi, like I'll have rice on my sushi or something. Or some other type
That's
of
what I
carb
find
source.
too, is like even when I'm like stepping outside of the bounds of how I normally eat, it's like I eat a gang of sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
Or it's like something that's still super, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not necking a jar of marshmallow topping or something.
Right? It's like,
Which I've been known to do. Whatever.
It
No
happens,
judgings.
birthday cake Oreos happen sometimes.
Yep, exactly.
Like, every now and then you got to go off the rails. And if your body craves something and that's what it wants, give it to it. So you satiate that craving and then move on.
Yeah.
But I think there's always a way to find a happy medium within dieting. Everybody's a little different though, so you just have to kind of figure out what works for you. With me, the cheat meals kind of save my life because it gives me a light at the end of the tunnel. So no matter how shitty my week might be, no matter how sick of eating kale I may be, if I know I can have that burger and that bag of almond M&Ms come Saturday night, I'm a happy camper.
There's those little things, man. I was talking with my friend Logan last night, and he was talking about Marcus Luttrell, the dude from Lone Survivor that the movie and book was based on. For those that don't know, that he's a SEAL Team 6. He was the only survivor of his team that went into Afghanistan, and they were attacked and got caught behind enemy lines. They all got killed except for Marcus, who had, I think, both his legs broken. He's bleeding everywhere. He's shot, I don't know, multiple times. And he is at a point where he's hiding. He has to go on a 7-mile trip to get to the nearest village. And he's got 2 broken femurs, I believe, and shot through his body, through and throughs. No water, no weapons, and he is taking bandages off like he's getting moss and shoving them in his bullet holes, and then he's taking them out and sucking the blood out of it for nourishment, to not die of dehydration, and then he's drinking his pee when he has to pee, and he's reaching as far as he can with a stick or his rifle or whatever and marking a line in the sand, and then he's crawling to that line, and then he makes sure he crawls all the way over it until his feet are over the line. And then he makes another line, and he does that for 7 miles. But it's those little increments that he can get over. He can't get 7 miles, but he can get for that next 8 feet or whatever it is, And I think there's those little things in life that, regardless of the circumstances, like, you've got to set goals. Like a dude asked me, he says, well, how'd you stay in kickboxing and shit so long? How'd you get, like, I don't know. He's like, well, I always start and I stop and this and that. And I'm like, well, you got to compete. You got to, if you don't have something you're working towards, like what's the point in it? And I think that's everywhere in life, like you set those little goals and you go, hey, let's get a few friends together and let's meet this goal,
Totally.
And the community is what pulls us through,
Well, that, and like for me and I kind of operate the same way. I mean, it's not that it's easy for me to maintain and stay in shape all the time, but it's a hell of a lot easier when I have something to look forward to, or I have an event, or I have a competition, and I can actually circle something on a calendar and know that, okay, I have like 12 weeks to prep for this. I have 8 weeks to prep for this. Like,
and there's something at stake.
Yeah, it gives you a goal set. It gives you something to focus on. It's like, I don't know, I'm a visual person, and with that, I like to put something up on the chalkboard. Like, I write it up on my kitchen chalkboard and, make a big deal out of it so I can see it, so I have something to work towards. Because if I don't have a goal to work towards, it's a lot easier also to be, like, lax with your shit and be loosey-goosey and be like, oh, yeah, sure, I'll eat that plate of ice cream, no problem.
Right.
Whereas if you have a goal and you have a clear thing,
there's something at stake you're going to lose that matters.
And I'm competitive as shit, so I mean,
When was the first competition you did?
Very first time I ever competed was in August of 2003. I did the Southern States in South Florida, and that's when I was doing figure. And my very first show, I came in, I think I placed 8 out of 12 or 13 people, so it wasn't too bad of a first show.
Yeah, awesome.
And then I just competed this past weekend, actually. That was my latest show.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I did it was the Muscle Contest Grand Prix.
What does that mean, the Muscle Contest?
Muscle Contest is the name of the promotion, the organization that promotes the contest. John Lindsay runs it.
So there's figure competitions?
Well, there's
bodybuilding competitions.
Yeah, and it's all considered a bodybuilding show, but housed underneath that very broad title.
Right.
You've got bikini.
It's like there's the Olympics, and then there's wrestling and judo and rowing.
So we've got bikini, which is kind of like like TNA.
Yep.
Whatever.
Love that.
Everybody does. It's probably that and the men's physique are actually the biggest and most attended.
That brings people out.
Yeah, I mean, they come out in droves. The dudes in board shorts, oh my God, we got so many pool party attendees. I'm kidding. And I only call it a pool party because somebody called it that the other day at the show. It was pretty funny. All the guys are in board shorts, and my friend was like, oh my God, is there a pool party?
Awesome.
But that men's physique and bikini is really bringing a lot of competitors out, which is great, but it's also kind of not so great because now it's just like anybody can get up and like, hey, I'm gonna do a show, and you're like, what?
It waters down the.
Yeah. And then we've got figure, and then we also have fitness, which that's why I got into it. I used to want to do fitness, but my gymnastics abilities are not all that.
Okay.
So I had to do figure, which didn't have any necessity.
So the distinction with like a bikini and a figure is the movement.
Well, bikini, it's more of it's more of a smaller body. It's more of a petite girl. I really have always said that for bikini. I think either you have a bikini body to work with or you don't. And like me, I could never do bikini. Why? Because I'm a big bitch. I just would not be a little dainty bikini girl. It just would not happen. So that's why I did figure. And then with figure, it's just kind of like it's a little bit more muscle than bikini, and it's just you're judged on your symmetry and your muscle tone. And then you go a step up from that, and then you've got fitness, which is inclusive of the gymnastics and the cool stuff that they used to show on ESPN a long time ago. And then you've got my category, which is physique, which is kind of it's a hybrid category. It's relatively new, and it's a middle ground between figure and bodybuilding. Because traditionally women's bodybuilding, within the last probably like 10, 15 years has just got crazier and crazier and bigger and scarier. And some of the women have just like taken it and just gone way too far with it. And it's unfortunately turned a lot of people off from the sport. So they created this new physique category, which is a throwback to the original women of bodybuilding, like the Corey Eversons, the Rachel McLishes, the girls who still were very feminine.
Corey Everson, is it true that's the nicest ass in bodybuilding? Is that
Corey?
Yeah.
Back in her day? I mean, she's Corey's probably like in her, how old is Corey now? Corey's got to be in her late 40s or early 50s now. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, but back in her day.
She's timeless to me.
But man, back in her day, Corey was a badass. She's still a badass, but she was awesome. She was an icon.
So is somebody like that still around the community?
Yes.
Like judging or coming or whatever,
yeah, no, very much
shit?
so. Her and Linda Murray are very, very involved. They were both in Chicago last year at a show I competed at together, which was really cool. And Linda lives down here in South Bay somewhere. And then Corey's down in Florida. But they're both still very much involved, and they're just super nice and friendly and just
rad.
Like they're awesome. They're like muscle mamas.
Yep.
They're kind of like like pseudo
helping and guiding,
pseudo mama
and encouraging.
us. Yeah, they're real. Cool. They're just lovely women, and but they're still around.
Nice.
Yep.
And so then since it went so far one way, you feel like it's dialing it back into like a more of a skill set, or more like, okay, we need different parameters instead of just let's get as big as we can.
Well, when the women really started losing their femininity, and you had some women that looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger up there with wigs, it was just like, people were just like, okay, this is not good for our sport. This is not good for bodybuilding itself. This is not what this was supposed to be about. This has gone way too far left field. So we just kind of need to bring it back. And there's been buzz for years that they were going to eliminate bodybuilding from the Olympia and from the Arnold. They've already removed it from the Arnold. And
crazy.
Yeah, women's bodybuilding. And then supposedly the latest and greatest rumor is that female bodybuilding is going to be completely removed from the Olympia in or by 2016 or 17. And that'll be completely replaced by my division, which is physique.
Right.
So you have a lot of female bodybuilders that are actually trying to come down from bodybuilding to physique.
Right.
But a lot of them are so massive. It's like it's going to take a while to lose all that muscle. And then, unfortunately, even with some of the ones that are able to lose the muscle, they can lose the muscle, but they still have a horse face. So what do you do?
Right.
So
now, what kind of training goes into that? Into is it like it's not like a high volume training in a way. It's more high weights and lots of rests. Is that what happens?
Yeah, I lift pretty heavy. Like my.
Is it all powerlifting? Like you want to be doing, or people doing cleans? Are they doing like?
No, not really. People, it's more just like an intensive workout. Just but you with your regular like 3 sets of 15,
biceps,
whatever.
Triceps, chest,
and then
back.
Exactly. Like I do splits a couple times a week on different body groups. But generally, I
do you
that.
do dance or anything? Do you do anything then to
a routine?
flexibility, another thing to keep you like active but like engaged in different ways, or keep you loose? Or
I'm all over the place. I do. I mean, you can find me at Gold's Gym throwing weights around, or you can find me at the studio MDR doing SPX Pilates, or you can find me at Bikram Yoga, sweating my face off.
I only went into Gold's Gym one time.
One time.
Yep. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Well, I'm going to have to walk you over there when we're done. Field trip.
I love it. What I saw was a woman that was like 65-ish, maybe. She had a gold lame bodysuit on and tights, really reflective and awesome, doing squats under a Smith machine with, I'm not an expert, but I'm going to say 6 or 8 inch heels.
Really?
Full on heels, the whole deal. And I was like, this is fucking.
Was she Italian?
That's some LA shit. I was looking and not looking.
I'll tell you what the beautiful thing about Gold's Gym is.
It's everybody down there, right?
It's not only, and it's funny I say it because it really is everybody. Gold's Gym is like the only place in the world where you can be working out next to a prostitute, a CEO of like a Fortune 500 company, a celebrity, like an A-list movie star, an intern student.
So cool.
A housekeeper, like a construction worker. I mean, everybody's in there. And that's the really cool thing, because when you're in there, it doesn't even really matter necessarily what you do.
Right.
Because everybody's, like you have and it's funny because I'm in there so much, I see different crews come and go, like the morning crew,
right,
the afternoon crew, the evening, the night crew is really weird. I try not to go in at night.
Really?
I don't like going
what
in
happens?
at night. You know what? It's a lot of men.
Just changes the energy of it all.
It's a lot of men, and I don't know, and the guys that go are just, there's a lot of weirdos.
You know why? Here's my
kooks.
theory. They're fucking 9-to-5ers.
Yes.
They're dudes that have accepted the slave
That's
ship.
why they're so weird.
And they're like, I'm just this conservative guy all day long, and I've sold my life out to Satan, and now I'm here, and now I'm ready to get a little freaky at night. And it's those guys, it's those creepy dudes. They
There's
probably
a guy
go to
that
church
wears
and
a
they
bra.
bang kids. See?
There's a guy that wears a bra to the gym.
Does he need it?
No,
what cup is he?
Like,
Is
well,
he a
the
C
whole thing
cup?
was he was trying to be shirtless, and you can't be shirtless in Gold's Gym. It's against
No way.
rules.
So he's so committed to being
I swear
shirtless.
to God, no. This man really, like, he's committed. He bought like the world's smallest sports bra. It almost looked like a child's bathing suit top, to be honest with you. And I think it was Adidas brand.
What kind of shape is he in? Be honest, Jill.
He's not in horrid shape, but
Okay.
he's not like ready to walk a catwalk. That's for sure.
Right.
And he always sits
You're
on this
not
one.
looking at him and going, well, he looks all right.
He always sits on this one ab machine in the second room, and he sits on it and he stares at himself in the mirror, and he just does like crunching movements, and he'll sit on it for like a fucking hour. It's ridiculous, and with his little bra top, and it's.
You know what I would love is to hear the
disturbing.
self-talk. If we could get into his head, just while he's looking and he's crunching, like, what's he saying? What is that?
You know what? Everybody makes fun of him all the time.
Does he have any boys? Any homies there?
Is he what?
He got any homies there? Like any?
No, it's he himself
he's
and
alone.
himself.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. He's a one-man team. Wow. He's fascinating.
Good on you, bra guy.
And he's there every day with his little bra top. Every day. And then part of me wonders how many he has, or does he wear the same one every day?
Right.
Just like, rinse it out. Like, what's up with that?
We got to talk to him.
He's definitely a character.
That's badass.
That's for sure.
Do any of the old guard go through there, like any of Arnold's old crew, or any of is there like a Frank Zane that goes through there? Is there like any of those kinds of old?
Yeah, actually, oh God,
'Cause I would
there was a
imagine it's, like,
fight that
old
broke out
for
there
them.
not that long ago, and
A
it was
fight, a fist fight.
Yeah, like they broke mirrors and stuff. Like,
whoa!
Oh God, who was it? It was one of the old timers.
No shit.
Yeah, and like a kooky guy who like apparently pooped on his front porch.
This is amazing. That's a TV show down there.
I know. Gold's Gym really is like an amazing ecosystem within itself. Like it's its own world.
So like there's Columbo or something. He's like, fuck this, not on my watch. And he throws a dumbbell at some old homeless guy.
And like I went in one day and like the caution tape was up and mirrors are broken. And I was like, yo, what happened here? And they were like, yo, when meatheads attack. And the one guy apparently pooped on the other guy's front porch, and the other guy confronted him
Prompted
about
by
it.
what? What happened before the pooping?
I think he was asking him to work for him or to hire him, and he kept pushing him off and telling him no. So out of retaliation, he pooped on his porch. Because apparently that's what you do.
This is why you don't give your telephone number out, folks. You don't want... Whew. I had a guy, he came at me on Facebook, and he was like, I just read it the other day. He goes, hey, I sent you I sent you a $5 coupon to Starbucks for your birthday, dude. Then I just got a notice that said that you never redeemed it. He's like, what the fuck? Was this on purpose or what? And I just, fuck, I don't drink I don't know anything about that. Like, there's a few messages I get. I'm sorry that one slipped the crack. But he's straight angry at me.
Really?
I'm like, oh, brother.
I'm like,
man.
oh shit. So it tells people when you don't redeem their stuff. Because somebody sent me a birthday gift once on Facebook. I've never gotten
Jill.
Facebook gifts.
Can't believe you.
And I never used it. So that means it probably
I'm against
bounced
some
back
kind of.
to him.
I've got, there's my friend Chris Riley, who owns Legends Gym. Awesome guy, and he sent me a iTunes thing, and I just saw that because then I went and I looked after that. That's useful. That's awesome. That's great. But I don't look at that stuff, and generally I go, fuck you, Facebook, for trying to monetize this anyway.
Right.
It's not personal, guys. But keep those gifts. Buy your mom something nice.
Yeah, donate to charity or something.
That's a trip. I want to go to Gold's Gym sometime now. Now, do they do any strongman stuff? Are there guys that are wicked? Like, you're like, fucking, that's a fucking athlete there.
There are some big guys that come in that will lift some ridiculously heavy weight. Chris Cormier is actually training out of there, and he usually trains a troop of guys that will throw around some really heavy weight. Michael Hearn, he trains there. And Mike throws around stupid amounts of weight. The only
Michael Hearn I know, he's a cowboy singer in New Mexico.
You don't know Mike Hearn? He played Titan on American Gladiators.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and he's an actor. He's great. He's him and his dog. He brings if anybody's ever seen a dog,
bring your dog into the gym.
Only Michael Hearn can bring that dog to the gym. Wow. Well, his dog is also dog? It's a service dog, and the Striker is extremely well behaved. And Striker, actually, it's kind of funny. And I'll post videos
picturing
sometime.
a German Shepherd.
No, it's a Husky.
Okay.
But he will bring the Husky, and Striker comes to the gym every day. And when Mike walks on the treadmill and does cardio, Striker walks on the treadmill right next to him and does cardio.
Good on him.
And it's really fun because it's actually nice to see a dog in the gym on a treadmill. It makes people happy.
And all that kind of behave.
Yeah, and so it's a nice distraction.
I used to work at a coffee bar a long time ago, and I'd bring my dog in, and her name was Loca. And she was a psychopath. She was really fucking a nut job.
You suited her, huh?
Yeah, but she was dope, man. She was like part Pekingese, part Chow, and she would fight anybody. Like
I was going to say that's a fighting dog right
She'd
there.
Be like fucking hilarious.
Warrior.
And then she would walk like a cat. She would like walk along fence lines and shit. She was badass, but she was super well behaved, like real tractable too. And then they got people would. If you see one dog though, everybody wants to bring their dog, and then the next thing you know, somebody gets
bit
trouble. Yeah.
And
then they put up signs and they go, "Hey, you can't bring your dogs in here." And then there's a big push for childcare at the same time. I'm like, there is zero possibility that your child is better behaved than my dog.
Right.
But
just put your kid in the duffel bag. Nobody will notice.
Exactly.
Well, actually, here's another interesting Gold's Gym story. I am chock full of Gold's Gym stories. Like, I need to do like a Syndicate, like spin-off TV show or something.
Or a little bathroom book.
Right. Actually, there was a guy that used to come to the Golds last year, and I haven't seen him since. And I heard he was suspended, but maybe he actually got expelled. I don't know. But he brought a snake to the gym. He used to perform on the boardwalk, like that. I think with the House of Freaks show and stuff. And he had a giant, huge Burmese python snake, and he had this snake in his bag one day. And he left his bag. Like, there's a little side area in Golds where it's like the lockers.
Right.
It's a little communal room where the microwave is and the scale. So people are constantly going in and out of there, and it's always busy. And he left his bag, like, in the cubby hole with the snake in it. And the snake apparently somehow got out and was, like, slithering around the gym. And people were running around screaming and freaking out. And, like, they had to, like, go get him and, like, sir, can you,
probably thought it was cute. He was like,
wrangle up your snake. And, well, he poor guy. He was a really nice guy, but he was kind of mortified that it happened. And, the gym was mortified that it happened, and they nicely told him not to bring his snake back, and I think they suspended him.
Right.
But then I've never seen him again since, so they might have actually given him the heave-ho.
Pretty bad judgment for a grown adult.
Yeah, a 6-foot Burmese python is not really something you leave in a bag in a
nor
cubby.
Nor is it very nice. I mean, I don't know if snakes give a fuck, but if I were a snake, I wouldn't want that.
Well, recently we chewed out a little woman who came in with a puppy. And it was in like a little puppy carrier, like a duffel bag puppy carrier. But she actually took the bag and shoved it in the cubby hole. And like, so the puppy was like in the bag, in the cubby hole, and she like left it there while she went and worked out. And then we were sitting there and we heard like whimpering, and we're like, what the fuck is that? And we realized it was a dog. And, they had to come and they go, okay, will the owner of the puppy in the duffel bag please come claim your dog? And then the lady came like, oh, what's wrong? And we're like, lady, are you retarded?
So
like,
crazy.
How about if we put you in a duffel bag and get worked out? And but mostly people are pretty good. They leave their dogs outside. So there's usually a plethora of dogs outside Gold's Gym.
I'll have to go by there sometime. I wanted to rent a place across from there, those lofts over there.
Oh, those lofts are awesome. Yeah, that's like my little like pipe dream. I've always wanted one of those lofts.
Those are some pricey
so you just roll out of bed
motherfuckers.
Oh yes, they are.
Crazy.
Everything in Venice is like ridiculous.
I've been looking all over for places in Venice. I looked at a place and it was big. It was really big. It was like a big loftish deal on Rose, like at 5th or 6th, somewhere in there.
Okay.
1,800 square feet, I want to say. So that's huge.
Right. 4
something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That is insane.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. Like, I got a place here a couple of years ago. I'm just west of Lincoln, right by Whole Foods, and I got a 1-1 with a backyard, and I got like a dumb price, like to the point where I don't think I'm ever moving ever.
That's great.
And even if I do move, I'm still keeping my place.
I just had a friend that bought a place on Rose, and I'm like, it's right by Moon Juice right there.
Yeah,
it's right by. I'm like, maybe I can talk him into something there.
There you
but
go.
Fuck, man, it's crazy pricey here.
Well, I'm actually going to a meeting tonight to a neighborhood council meeting. I'm so look at me all being involved in the neighborhood.
That's amazing.
I know, I'm such an adult.
Good for you.
I'm going to a council meeting tonight to oppose. They're building a restaurant bakery, but with alcohol and beer sales, right across the street from Gold's Gym, like right by Skid Row.
Right.
And it's just not a good place for it. And it's the same owners as Jelena. And they've kind of. No offense, but they've kind of ruined Abbott Kinney. So, I'm going to go to the meeting and oppose it because it's just too much. Like there's too much. This whole neighborhood is changing.
It's a crazy place, man.
Kind of sucks.
Down here though, a friend of mine, he's with the LA SWAT team, and he's like, dude, there's fucking people getting smoked there every week, just dumb shit too. It's like people forget that. I don't know. I was with a friend, and he hadn't been back to Venice in like 10 years, and he used to live in a condo up the way, and we're on Abbott Kinney, and he's like, it was like 11 at night, and he's like, there are broads in miniskirts and heels here right now. I go, yeah, it's like this all the time. It's crazy. He goes, not when I lived here, man. Like that is a rape victim.
Yeah, you didn't go out there at 11 o'clock at night.
She's not coming home. Crazy, man.
Well, even like last night, I read the headlines this morning. Some dude at one of the sidewalk, I think the sidewalk cafe or something last night was there wearing his Google Glass.
Right.
And he got robbed for it. Yeah. And they were like, everybody's out acting all surprised over it. And it's like, okay.
Don't pretend you're not here.
It's still Venice. Yeah. And he was on the boardwalk, and it was after the sun went down.
Yeah.
And you know what? I used to live on the boardwalk right behind Muscle Beach. And nothing good is coming out of that boardwalk when the sun goes down.
Even even in the daytime, you need to watch yourself.
Venice is I love Venice because it's one of the most beautiful places, but it's also one of the most disgusting places. But it's definitely one of the most feeling places.
It's all of it, right? It's all of that.
It totally is. But
I feel real fortunate to have like a taste of it here and there. So I live in.
Yeah, you're in Hollywood, right?
Yeah, basically, and it's so vapid. It's like everybody there's so much of people trying to do something other than what they're doing. And that's cool, like people trying, but it's not that. It's like colored with the pretending, and instead of just being what they're about. You know what I mean? It's kind of like every waiter I ever meet, they're like, oh, I'm an MMA fighter or whatever. It's like, or you're just a waiter that's a little bit overweight that sees stuff on TV that you'd like to do. Like maybe you're a white belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know. Like that's cool. You can just be that, dude. Like there's no expectation here in the world, but that lack of authenticity that occurs is the one thing that people read as bullshit. So like you're gonna look funny no matter what when you're pretending, and that's what I really appreciate about all the beach communities so much is it's just folks. Like there's so much of people are nicer. It's like there's a nicer aspect to it, that is like people aren't just looking out for themselves.
It's always better done by the beach man.
It is, man. It's nice. I don't know. My buddy Joe talks about it, like about the ocean. It's like it's an ego deflator, Like you look at the ocean and you think about all your worldly problems, and you're like, in the expanse of what I'm viewing, it's pretty minimal, really, whatever's going on in my little life,
right.
and maybe it is. Just be nice to people and go out from there, and that's a great jump off.
Well, that, and I think too, living on the west side and just being by the ocean, it makes you very appreciative of just being in Southern California and being alive. And like I had the worst probably shitbaggy day I've had in a long time on Monday, and a friend of mine at the last minute invited me to go meet him at Del Frisco's in Santa Monica, like right there on Ocean. And I'd never been there, whatever. It was a beautiful day, and I went down there, and we're sitting there, and I'm, boo-hooing about my problems and whatever petty bullshit was bothering me.
Yep.
And I'm looking out at the ocean, and I'm looking at all these tourists, like, coming out in droves, just, like, oh, I'm so excited to be here. And I'm thinking, like, regardless of whatever crap problems I have, I'm sitting here in Southern California on the border of Venice and Santa Monica, eating a steak overlooking the ocean.
Right.
Life's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's really hard to be kind of unhappy here.
Yep.
I mean, maybe when you're stuck in traffic or if like
Unless
First
you're
Friday and there's like
self-obsessed.
hipsters everywhere, then you're like, okay, this
You know what I
sucks.
mean? Like the more self-obsessed you get, the more unhappy you get. Like that is the deal. Like it's the more I can appreciate the moments and appreciate like how can I improve somebody else's life around me? I get out of all that shit. Like if I'm feeling depressed and I go, who's really depressed? And I go and I try to help that person, my depression just dies of neglect. I'm not depressed anymore. You know what I mean? It's like there's that whole thing that we get it twisted. And like a buddy of mine, he used to call it the universal law of reciprocation. He goes, everybody, Tate, there's only assholes that don't think, hey, when I get my $1 million or my lottery ticket or whatever it is, I'm going to really help people then. But he says, they've got it wrong too. It's like you got to do it now, right now,
what you have.
And then that shit shines on you. That's the only way there is, because this is all there is. There's not a tomorrow.
You
like
can't
that's
get
a
caught
fantasy.
up in moments because at the end of the day, they're all moments.
Right.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Rad. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out to come and chat it up a little bit.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
And I
your
hope we do it
having
again.
me on. It was fun.
So quads not included. How do we
Quads not
find you on the
included.
web?
Quadsnotincluded.com.
Awesome.
Or you can check me out at my very much needs to be updated website, jillrudison.com. Just, Jill Rudison or Quads Not Included. You can type that in, you can find me.
Rad. Right on. Well, thanks very much, and thanks everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Premature. But, yeah, to hear about the whole life challenge a little bit.
Yes, tell me.
The whole life challenge was something that was started by Andy Petranek a few years ago, and in which he prompted a small group of people at his gym at CrossFit Santa Monica to go ahead and take part in this thing that was like it's the whole life challenge. The big thing is accountability, and so it's really putting in a structure around your day for a 24-hour period where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mobilize joints or musculature for 10 minutes, a minimum. I'm going to do a minimum of a 10-minute workout. If it's a hard workout, like if I'm going to do something that is like based on time that takes shorter than that, whatever, it can be shorter than that, but it's like then you're talking about a high intensity, a really a big metabolic output type of workout. And so a workout, a mobilization, clean eating, and the eating is stipulated. It's not even necessarily what I would consider clean. It's not what I wouldn't consider clean eating. It's not what I would consider like what my diet is, what I think works even optimally for me. But it's a game, and you agree to play the rules of the game, and so you get in and your discipline gets heightened, and so you go, okay, I'm going to eat along these guidelines that are for health. I mean, they're better than 99% of the people in the world are eating for sure, and it's basically a gluten-free, sugar-free kind of diet, and so you eat under those categories, and you get a certain amount of points for each thing you do. Like you get 5 points for the workout, you get 5 points for the mobilization, you get a total of 5 points for eating. But say you had a diet soda which has got sucralose in it or something, sorry, you take a point away for that, so you only get 4 points for eating now. Say also you had a bite of a Snickers bar, you take away, you see how it goes.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there's different challenges weekly. Like the first week is maybe make sure you drink, like it's not a gallon, but some kind of so many ounces per pound of body weight you have a day.
But you should drink a gallon a day.
Yeah, exactly. And then And then another is like maybe another week is make sure you sleep 7 uninterrupted hours. You know, and maybe that's not possible for some people.
I wish.
And then another is like for another week is maybe prepare every one of your meals this week, regardless of where you eat or whatever you're doing. Another one is make sure that you engage with whoever your waiter is about specifically what are their foods fried, and like it's becoming hyper conscious of your whole self, and that whole self being what you nourish yourself with, what you read. Another week might be the focus might be on meditation or on mindfulness, you know, and on engagement with your environment and with your people around you, and it's like and what the cool thing is about the whole life challenge is that it spreads. It's like it started off with 40 of us that did this, right? And that was, I think, 3.5 years ago or something. We do it like twice a year, or we have been. And I think there's, the last time we did it, there was like 15,000 people that had done it, that had signed. And so you talk about, like, I don't know, I talk about this with Caveman Coffee a lot too. And I go, you know, I'm not like, or my gym, like Undisputed Fitness in Santa Fe, and which houses 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu and CrossFit Santa Fe. But, you know, all those things, everything that I do in that way, it's like some people look at my life and they go, oh, that looks pretty cool. I'd like to do some of that stuff or whatever. That none of that shit that I've created is like about that I wanted to have a business. It's like I'm not interested in a business. I'm interested in a movement. I'm interested in a revolution. I'm interested in people being empowered in a way that's outside of convention. I mean, I remember years ago driving to the airport, and we drove by the 405, and I was in a limo with Rogan, and he looks and he goes, that is a fucking slave ship. And it's just people packed bumper to bumper for endless fucking miles going to a job that they're probably not psyched to go to, and then they're going to have that same experience on the way home while they unwind. They're not spending as much useful time loving their family or fucking, like, there's all, and you just look at that and you're like, that's caustic. That's not a way to live. And
Great.
So I look into that and I go, how is there a way to empower people into their dreams? And how is there a way to empower people into not buying their own? I mean, and you can get as political as you want with this. Like, I look at it as like, even to like where NAFTA goes, and they're building camps all through Texas and through all the southern towns, and like and when you look at like whether it's marijuana prohibition laws and things like that, and you're like you're basically paying people if you're buying shit from Nabisco or you know, all these different big companies. You're paying people for your own imprisonment. You're paying people to poison you. Like Nestle wants to own water. They want to patent and own water. How fucking creepy is that? The number one thing that I need in my life to live, to be a human and live as a biological agent, and you want to own it. Like, how about that the fluoride in the water isn't really so I have white teeth maybe. Maybe it dulls, like my coach Eddie Bravo talks about. He's like, it calcifies the pineal gland. It calcifies like thought other than what is in the rote convention of what's going on in the society. And like with those things, like there's certainly agents that are wanting to imprison you, for sure. And so becoming aware of that, like, what's the only vote you have? I thought it was Obama, guys. I got fooled. I'm sorry. But I was wrong, and he's another motherfucker, too. And it's like with that, like, he couldn't help but be what he is in that position. I don't think that there's generally people that are evil. I think that there's generally a bunch of people that are like, I'm just doing this little part of the job, and I don't know, and they don't think about how it affects the greater goal.
Right.
And the greater goal isn't for you to be empowered. But so what I try to push out is I go, know where you spend your dollars, know what you're doing with your time each day, so you're either promoting people and encouraging people to be outside of that construct of like thinking, oh, I can just buy here and I can do this and that, because those things maybe are not the best things for you. I mean, even simple shit like, why do I drink like a Pellegrino instead of Perrier? Because Perrier supports Monsanto and they support GMOs, and I don't know, but I don't think that stuff's good, so I don't really want to support it. How come I don't shop at Walmart and I'll shop at a mom and pop store and pay $3 more for something? Because, man, I'd rather have those people. You know what I mean? It's like I vote with my dollars, and I'm pretty conscious about it, and I encourage other people to be too. And one of the first things that really got me feeling empowered in that way was the whole life challenge, and that's what got me into looking at local farmers so I could source my beef and I could source food and vegetables from local sources instead of having my stuff brought in from a Cisco truck. The ease and comfort from which we have in the world right now is a way that imprisons us, is a way that makes us less useful and less able to take care of ourselves. And if I'm always looking for somebody to take care of it looks really easy, it looks nice, and I can see that, I just want somebody to take care of me, and that'd be nice, and I know that's the dream of so many people. But it's robbery, man, and it's enslavement, and I'm not with it. And so that whole thing, and that's certainly the Whole Life Challenge does not condone nor necessarily agree with what I'm saying at all. But for me, in my experience, this was a great component of going, I can be accountable for my life in a whole different way, and I'm just going to get in this game, and I'm going to see what it's like. And what I've seen from people at my gym, we've been doing it for the last 3 years, you see people that are terrified of their life get engaged in their life, and they go, you know what? Maybe me too. And when you see somebody go, I want to try, because maybe me too, and that's a person that's never ever tried before, it makes me fucking cry. It brings me to tears, because I don't give a fuck about like for whatever a Tate Fletcher or a Jill Rudison or a Keith Jardine or somebody does, like, great, you're already a high level athlete of some kind, or you're whatever. But for somebody that's maybe dying of diabetes, or somebody that thinks that they can't for their whole life, and for them to get engaged, that's fucking awesome. And so for that to have happened for like almost 20,000 people in the Whole Life Challenge, it's something I can't say enough about. And I just go to support as much as I can. And that's a little bit about it, I guess. You know, that was kind of the startup, and that's kind of, for me, where it's taken. And for my story, there's 1,000 other people that have stories, you know. The worst thing that happens, the downside, people learn that, oh, my God, I can have abs if I want. Just dial it in a little bit. Oh, my God, look, I'm feeling better, and I'm more mobile than I've ever been. Those are the downsides.
If the education is,
you know what I mean?
the biggest downside,
yeah,
then
right?
It's a win-win situation.
I'm feeling a little better. You know?
Oh, darn.
So yeah, that's the deal. And so I don't know. I'm just putting that out wherever I can. And the goal is eventually, like, what would be cool is to get, you know, so we have teams, right? And so there's different teams all over that are set up. And my team's at Undisputed Fitness, CrossFit Santa Fe. And you can go there and you can email and find out how to get involved in that. But and there's a little contest, like who could get the most people on their team, right? What would be dope is to get into one of these places where you go, hey, how about we have a Marilyn Manson team, and we have a Ellen DeGeneres team, and we have a Roseanne, like, to get people that are really involved, that are really influencers out in the world, that are like, you know what, let's go ahead and take some power back, and let's go ahead and look at this in a different way. And that's the real push to health, because if you look at an FDA food pyramid or whatever else, or if it's got an FDA stamp on it, I'm more worried about it poisoning me than I'm thinking that that's a safety that is fine. You know, like,
right.
There's so much fucking misinformation and fraudulent bullshit that goes on with all the fuckery of all those government agencies. You can miss me with that shit. I want to know the farmer and shake his hand that is fucking growing up my meat. I want to know the guy that's picking my vegetables, you know? And so anyway, that's kind of, I think, where the world's going. And I think that the Twitter and technology, Facebook, all these things are letting us become more expressed and, like, here's what we desire as a people. And these corporations that are now seen as individuals and have more power over the government, I mean, our government's just a shadow of this corporate structure. They're worried, and they're like, I mean, even with the legalization of weed, it's like I see all these fucking people. All my friends, I mean, I grew up a criminal. Like, fucking, I look at all these people, and they're like, yeehaw, weed, like all my old friends. And I'm like, what are you going to do for a job? Like, you sell weed. If it's legal, I'm pretty sure you're unemployed. Why would you be happy about that? The other thing is, that's even worse than that, is that you get all these knuckleheads that are like, yay, I can smoke weed on local TV in Denver or whatever, and they're like, and that's the biggest thing, and it goes back into that egocentrism, and it goes back into that. How about the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people maybe that are incarcerated for victimless crime of marijuana possession, right, or selling marijuana? Why aren't you in the streets for that instead of burning a roach in front of your local newscaster? It's like that kind of consciousness. It's like even amidst something that is like, this should be free, this should be available to people to use if they want it to be, gets mutated in that egocentric aspect of it. And that's the separation of a lack of empowerment. It's the opposite thing that people are saying is happening. They're partaking in their own imprisonment. And I'll tell you what, is like, as soon as they do this and they start to legalize it, Eddie Bravo, he just told me, he said he just saw an ad from, it was like a news documentary on CNN about weed. And it was like, you know, the safety isn't there, though, with the growers. It's great that they're doing this. These kids are doing it. They're curing ADD. They're like all this stuff. And they're saying it not as it's a bad thing, but it's a good savior.
Right.
But they're saying, you know what, though? The potency, it's always suspect. You don't know what you're getting ever. But these corporations, and they show fucking Upjohn and Pfizer and all these, that's where your weed is going to come from.
Yeah.
And when those guys are making vaccines, which they know is giving people syphilis, which they know they've consciously given cancer cells to people that are getting vaccinated, what do you think they're going to do with the weed? That you're going to see your first deaths from marijuana as soon as it goes corporate. And guess what? It's already too late. You know, and so like that kind of thing. It's like I say, I could get a little verbose, but that's the deal with it. You know, with the Whole Life Challenge is just one of the things that I do that's a grassroots thing that is spreading like wildfire, where I go, hey, fucking shake the tree a little bit and wake up, folks. And it's happening, you know. And so for years, like I always had this mindset since I was a little kid, but I always felt impotent. Like, what do you do? Like, there's nowhere to put the bullet because fuck, it's a ghost that you're shooting at. You know, this specter of corporate domination is a ghost. But with this, it's like, how can I look at where my feet are right now, where I spend my money right now? It's like right now, why are we in sauce as opposed to Starbucks or something? You know, it's like we're
because sauce sources organically and locally. That's
you know what
why.
I mean? It's like we get choices, you know, and everybody that goes, it's not where I live, or that, well, there's no fence around where you live, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Or my job is that I have to do this. Nobody has to do anything. And as soon as you can go and look to yourself and go, like for me, going, well, this is just how this is just how God made me. I'm a junkie, and that's how it's gonna. As soon as I could stop that kind of bullshit and assuaging any kind of responsibility I have and pushing it somewhere else and blame shifting, and go, you know what, I am, because I'm choosing this. I'm choosing whatever course of action it is. It's not my girlfriend's a bitch and I can't stand her and you can't believe how she treats me. As soon as I stop that and go and pointing the finger at her and I go, I'm choosing to be with a person that's sometimes not very nice to me. Or I'm choosing to be like whatever it is. I'm choosing. Everything I'm doing, I'm choosing where I live. I'm choosing where I drink. I'm choosing where, and once we get into that, then we're talking about accountability. Then we're talking about empowerment. And the Whole Life Challenge is just the beginning of that conversation, I think, that is put in a format that is palatable. And it's like that Marcus Luttrell story about he draws a line in the sand, and then he fucking crawls his fucking broken legs over it. Then he draws another line, and he crawls. And it makes it a bite-sized piece that you can go, you know what, I'm going to start taking my life back a little bit.
Makes it achievable.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So that's it, yo.
Well, that's some good shit.
Yeah. All right.
Sign me up. Where do I join the team?
Well, we'll sign you up at undisputedfitness.com. I'll send you a link. It's all over my Facebook. There's links all over my Facebook too. So, yeah, check it out, and we'll get everybody going.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Peace.